Hi everyone, in the previous lecture we talked about variables and constants. In this lecture I'm gonna talk about rules and naming for variables and constants. Let's begin our lecture. Yes, the first rule is this. Constant and variable names should have a combination of letters in lowercase or uppercase or digits or an underscore. As you seen in the previous lecture, we can define constants by using uppercase, and we can use upper or lowercase in variables. We can use all of these in our variables. For example, I'm gonna ask the user name and surname and store this data a variable. What we will use input function. I'm gonna write input your name, what's your name, and second is what's your surname. Yes, I'm gonna get name and surname. For example, Mehmet and Tek. Okay, the output is Tek. I'm gonna create a variable that stores these data. I'm gonna give a name equals the input 1, the surname, input 2. Okay, let's start Mehmet and Tek. Okay, there is no output. We can use print function to see the output. Print name, for example. Okay, print name is Mehmet. The first rule is this. We can use name 4 or surname 5. Also, we can use underscore. We can use uppercase, for example, uppercase N, for example, uppercase S, surname. We can use all of these. But another important thing, and the second rule, is create a name that makes sense. For example, think about that I'm writing A, I'm writing B. I cannot remember what is this. What is this A? What is this B? For example, I'm write Mehmet, write Tek. I'm gonna call this A and B, and I cannot understand which A stands for name, which B stands for surname. So the most important point, the naming for variables or constant, is to create a name that makes sense. Do not write just A, B, or X, Y, Z. It's not make sense. Create a variable name. This is important. This is very important. For example, you can create the age variable. You can write 29. This is a good example of creating a name. For example, this is A equals 29. This is not a good example of creating a make sensible name. Please be careful about it, because so many variables you can start using, and in the program, in the project, you will not remember which one. Be careful about creating a name. Another rule of the naming is, if you want to create a variable name having two words, use underscore to separate them. So let's start using, I'm gonna add some line by using B shortcut. For example, I'm gonna create a variable, its name is product name. Product name equals iPhone. Okay, shift enter. There is an error here, syntax error, invalid syntax, because Python thinks that this is different from this. Python thinks that this product and name is not connected with each other. We will connect each other by using underscore, my friend. Product name, by using the underscore, I'm gonna shift enter. For example, there is no problem. We can print the product name. Okay, the iPhone is output. We will use underscore when we create a variable name having two words. The another important rule is never use special symbols like hashtag, $sign, percentage sign, etc. For example, Python didn't recognize these, and there will be very confusion. Let's write some variable name by using this equals, shift enter. There's a problem with this usage, because these, all of them, have meaning in Python programming language. You cannot use these in the creating variable part. Please do not use these special symbols in your variable's name. Another important rule is the starting point. Do not start a variable name with a digit or plus or minus sign. It can start with underscore. For example, let's start with number 9, name equal Mehmet. Shift enter. Yes, we have syntax error, invalid syntax. The Python says number cannot be used the first letter of a variable. For example, we can not use also plus sign. Yes, plus sign, the same error. We cannot use numbers or plus signs, the first letter. We can only use the first letter of the variable. We can use lowercase letter or uppercase letter, and we can use underscore. For example, I'm gonna add underscore, shift enter, there is no problem. Print underscore name. Yes, I'm gonna print out my name. Okay, do not start a variable name with a digit or plus sign. It can start underscore, my friends. Another important rule is you cannot use some Python keywords in your variable names. For example, false, none, true, and, as, assert, await, break, class. These are all Python keywords. You cannot use these in your variable names. For example, of course, you cannot use function names. I'm gonna add another rule. You cannot use function names as variable names. For example, let's try. I'm gonna give a name, my variable print. Print is a function, as you know. I'm gonna name it print. And Mehmet. Okay, there's no problem. I'm gonna use print. Yes, there is a problem. Because when we use print in our variable, we cannot use print as a function. There will be confusion with this. So be careful about do not use function names as variable names, or you do not use some Python keywords in your variable names. These are all Python keywords. Also, you can look at all function names in the Python documentation. Let's look at the Python documentation and look at Python keywords and all Python functions. Go to Google, Python functions. These are Python built-in functions. We cannot use these functions in our variable names. We will use as a function in our project. We will not use these names in our variable names. Also, you can look at Python keywords. I'm at some of them. You will not use these in your variables. Be careful about these all the rules, and naming a variable and constant is very important topic. I think you are understand all of the concepts, and see you in the next lecture. We will start learning data types of Python programming language.